So now that we can establish, I showed y'all right now. If somebody on here or on his page talking after you see that say, "Oh, this nigga story never changes," all we was talking about was him giving D-Rock the gun, right? He's been lying all these years until I put the audio up of him saying to his goddamn self. Then he had to go and say, D-Rock ain't my motherfucking man like that. Word? So you just gonna let Big get killed? Or did you know Big was gonna get killed? Because you the one that got the phone calls, didn't you? And hey y'all, I need y'all to put this in your head for a minute with while you're analyzing this. Remember, back then, when Big got killed, Gene was Puff Man. He was saying gang. He had no beef with Puff then. He would have did anything for Puff then. Remember? Think about that. Remember, Big wasn't his man. He just showed you exactly how he felt about D-Rock. And you know, and first it was, oh, I never gave D-Rock no gun. Choke is lying. You see how sick this nigga is? He would just make that up until I say, hey, y'all, listen to him telling me. And then he came out and he tells the truth, right? I took the gun back from that nigga. D-Rock ain't my motherfucking man like that. But that D-Rock is not in that the last big night, part 1, 2, or 3, or the book about him giving the gun because he fucking lied to y'all. You should be getting a refund. Your ass should be getting a goddamn refund, right? So I want y'all to remember again, at this time, Gene doesn't have a beef with Puff. He works for Puff, right? Now, let me bring it back a little bit, right? Now remember, Diddy was going to run down on Big at Quad Studios when he had that first session for Junior Mafia, but things went wrong when Tupac got shot up downstairs at the elevator, right? This is when Pac get on the elevator, come up, he see Diddy there with Jimmy, right? So that's where Pac beef is with Diddy, right? So, and his beef with Jimmy at the same time, right? So remember, Biggie and them didn't know that Pac was coming to the studio to go do the session upstairs because they in there sneaking, doing they goddamn shit. And somebody probably from Quad probably called fucking Puff and told that nigga, yo, nigga, these niggas, what you call it? These niggas up in the studio, right? Or, you know, it could have been like that. We don't know, right? Allegedly. Anyway, thing is, Big and them didn't know Pac was going to the studio, this, that, and the other. This is why Pac had the beef with what you call it. Remember, Big is sneaking behind Puff's back then. So there's already a problem. You hear me? Y'all got to stay with me. You got to stay with me for where I'm about to take y'all. I'm going to bring y'all back all the way back to this moment, right? This is why I say I allegedly believe that Puff killed Big too, allegedly, right? Listen. Big is out of his bad boy deal at this point, right? That's one, right? He fulfilled, he's done. He already did another deal with Atlantic, with Undies, right? We're on, right? Not only that, Big is competing against Bad Boy at this time. The time of Biggie death, this nigga had records on the top 10 on Atlantic Records and had records on the top 10 for Bad Boy Records. If One More Chance was popping at this time, motherfucking Players Anthem and Get Money was on the radio at the same time, and they not on Bad Boy, right? Which is pissing Clive Davis off because you dumb nigga let this nigga go do a deal with somebody else and not us, and this nigga got #1 records, right? Now, if you go watch Hip Hop Evolution, right? The episode Life After Death, season 4, right? Diddy states that this nigga Big, in verbatim, he says he had an idea in his mind that he was going to be an executive and live right next door to me. This nigga is bold. For Diddy to say that, right? And you can look it up. Wait. I said I'm going to do a deep dive, right? That means I have all the evidence. Let me pull it. All these receipts I have already pulled. Here we go. Now, check this out. Still under fair use here. A lot of people don't understand the relationship me and Big had. We were beyond record company and recording artists. We were really true friends. We hit the lottery together. And we lived it like nobody ever lived it. But Big had this concept that he wanted to be in a power position, an executive producer, be able to move next door to me. So he had this dream of, really start his own label. And I was just like, wow, this guy's bold. You know what I'm saying? He wants to go do his own label. He's not even trying to do it with Bad Boy. I was like, that made no sense for my business, but it was just like, it's my man. Just the way he Biggie played Crush on You. The only one thing I wanted to do was freak you. And Puffy was like, he just stared at Big. Stone sets, I got more on baguettes, and I'll be doing things that you don't. You heard what Puff said? This nigga got it in his head that he's going to be an executive and be out here on the same block as me. This nigga is bold. Does that sound like a statement of encouragement of somebody, yo, go ahead and do your own thing, nigga? Yeah. And then what else he said after that? It made no sense for my business, right? Okay. So when he heard Little Kim album for the first time and heard Crush on You, we know who wrote that shit, right? I know Mace wrote a verse or whatever, right? But we know Big wrote his, right? But anyway, he heard it, right? You heard what Kim said? This nigga was just staring at Big. And he just told you prior to that, it made no sense for my business. This nigga got Crush on You, crushing the fucking charts. And he still got it there with Bad Boy. They competing with himself. Now, that ties back to the Quad getting ready to run up on him in the studio, right? You heard what Puff said, right? That made no sense for my business. This nigga is bold. He got it in his fucking mind that he gonna be in the fucking executive next to me when I fucking signed this nigga. I made this nigga, and now he gonna go and compete against me? He ain't saying it like that. But I'm just painting that picture for y'all so y'all can get where I'm going with this. All right? No, that wasn't on Bad Boy. That's on Atlantic. Undie is Atlantic. All Junior Mafia music is on a Big had his own record label and his own distribution. He was just signed to Bad Boy as an artist, but he had his own label and his own distribution through Atlantic Records. So Junior Mafia album, Little Kim, Little C's, none of them niggas is Bad Boy. Only one that's Bad Boy is Biggie. The rest of them is under Biggie. And that makes no sense for Puff business, right? So Puff sees Pac get killed and should make hundreds of millions. What the fuck you think he thinking what would happen if Big died? And Big is getting ready to be the biggest rapper in the world, independent of Diddy. I'm not saying he killed him. I'm just saying I understand. That's an old joke. That's an old joke from old comedy stand-up. But serious. Now I want y'all to take that, right? And knowing that Diddy said what he said, right? And then remember the other story where Gene talks about Diddy saying, I don't care if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, and Suge gotta go to jail. Y'all remember that? Okay. All right. Now, here's where I believe personally, and I said this before, right, that Gene tried to extort Puff, allegedly, because he know who killed Big, allegedly. Let me say that again. Allegedly, I'm willing to believe that Gene tried in 2017, Gene allegedly tried to extort Puff and threatened him that he would put it out there that, or he knows that he know, in my opinion, he knows that he know allegedly Diddy has something to do with with Big murder. And he thought that he was going to be able to squeeze Diddy, allegedly, for the rest of his life for money, or he going to tell that secret, right? Now, I told y'all that they had a meeting because I heard that Gene tried to allegedly extort Diddy and for some money or whatever, and threatened him that he'll go on the internet and put his business out there, and Diddy told him to suck his stick, right? Y'all remember I told y'all that, right? Then remember, this nigga tried to go and get in front of me, and he tells MREC the same story that I told y'all, right? But now MREC channel has removed this interview, but I still have it, right?
Diddy's character. Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you cleared the air on that. Now,
you're still under fair use.
Why did you put out this information? Because I went to Puff based on how he had treated Wolf's mother. I went to Puff based on the information I had on what he did with Wolf and the BMF situation. I went to Puff because what he had did to a good friend of ours who brought him into the same game, raised money for him when he had that City College situation. And how he was just treating niggas and doing how he was. He had got too big for his britches. I went to him first. And then he decided not, he didn't want to have no conversation with me. He didn't want to do this, he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to be right by somebody. So I got tired of him using our name, talking about, yo, that's my crew, the same gang, and you ain't did shit for nobody in the same gang. You understand? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's my brother. Your Wolf was like my brother, so like that, but yet still you curse his mother out. And she tried to get the money that you owed him. You told her her son was nothing but had delusional grandeur, was nothing but he wanted to use drugs and smoke weed. Come on, bro, you don't do that. There's a lot of shit that, you know, I decided that, yo, I'm gonna get this motherfucker in the public's opinion thing. You know, for me, like I told you when I first started, and I let you see that documentary. You seen a documentary that nobody else have ever saw. Fact. You know what I'm saying? And I say, yo, Rick, I put all this money in this motherfucker, and I can't get it played because of this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards. Yo, Gene, God, do me a favor, easy on the cursing, because you know how YouTube do. But go say you on, go. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, all right, you good. Yeah, all right. So after I said that, I said, yo, Rick, I'm going after this kid. I'm going after Diddy, Puff, whatever his name is. I got a sledgehammer, and I'm just going to start chipping at the Empire State Building. After you seen the tape, you say, yo, I just want to put out the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. And that's how it came about. That's a fact. And you warned me and said, Rec, I'm letting you know now, Diddy's like the Empire State Building. And you also said, I'm going to just say this, in a way where you can't be so direct, but you said to me, just know this is a dangerous situation. Oh, no doubt. You told me. I told you that, like, yo, I told you, like, all the money that I received from people who, even book companies and book people who wanted, nigga, then I started telling you. Yo, hold on, Jay.
Now, that co-signs what I told y'all, that he tried to extort Diddy, allegedly, and Diddy told him no, and he said, yo, I'm going to go and destroy this nigga in the public opinion. I'm going to chip at the Empire State Building. However he wanted to use it as a reference, that he was going to go publicly destroy Diddy because Diddy didn't do what he was supposed to do with him. He denied him. He declined. He didn't want to. We know what that is, allegedly, right? Right. So now that I showed you that this guy is a liar, right? You seen him lie blatantly for years, way before he started going out for Diddy. He never mentioned that he gave D-Rock a gun and took it back because he would look like a sucker for doing it, right? It would look like he knew that something was going to happen and he took the gun from him, right? Right. Okay. Let's move on, right? Now that we know that, for one, this nigga's vindictive because you see what he do to me, right? He get up there, he lie, say all this shit, disrespect. You know how he is. You know he has no loyalty because of what he's doing to Diddy. Outside of everything, back then, when he was working for Diddy, Diddy was his boy. They was same gang. They in the same gang, right? He didn't have no problem with Diddy back then, right? And look where he never to this day he said Diddy every dollar Diddy ever owed him, he paid him. He don't owe him nothing, right? To this day, Diddy never did nothing wrong to him. And look how he turned on him. So I expect him to turn on me the way he did, like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much sure there's plenty of other people out here that he has had a relationship at one point or another and turned on their ass too, right? You know, you could be nice to this dude and not have a different opinion, and he'll flip out on you, right? So now that you know he's a liar, now that you know that he has no credibility, because he could tell a whole story and leave out a most intricate part. Biggie Man had a gun. Had they had a gun and these niggas rolled up on the car, they could have shot back. Big probably would have had the gun in his hand had D-Rock brought it in the car, being that he was driving. And we know Biggie would have busted his shit if a nigga pulling up, shooting at him. He would have been like, blah, 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 right? But Gene took that gun from him, right? And we know it now only because I exposed that, right? Or he would have been lying forever, just like him talking about buying the guns, right? Now he told me that he bought guns for them and transported them from Florida to New York. There's something he told me for a fact, right? Now he tried to go and clean that up by saying he was bullshitting me when he told me that, right? Because Big Face